Recently, I did a 30-day fast where I only drank water, vitamins, and some minerals. So I wanted to share some of the things I learned about discipline, courage, and I don't know, something else. I'm sure I learned more from not eating for 30 days. First thing is, whenever I was going into that challenge, I was unbelievably scared of what might happen and not knowing what will happen. This seems to be a typical thing throughout my life, and I'm sure a lot of your lives. We want to make changes, we want to take on tasks, and we want to do things that can show ourselves that we're being different. But usually what stops us is that feeling of, I don't know what's about to happen, so I think I'd rather just stay where I'm at. That was overwhelming at some point for me before I started, but I got to a point where I realized that I just need to do one day first. Let me just do the first day of the 30-day fast and see how I feel. Mind you guys, I had been building my way up to it. It wasn't like I just jumped into a 30-day fast. I actually had built my way up over a year, starting with 1 day, 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, and so forth. So I don't recommend anybody ever jump into a 30-day fast, and I don't recommend that you do it like I did, where it was unmonitored and unsupervised medically. I did a blood test and I talked to a doctor virtually. That is not monitored. That is me bullshitting and winging it. I'm fine. Obviously, I'm alive. I ended up making it through. Just a side note. But don't ever feel like you have to take on a change all at once. Just start with small steps. Start with that first day of doing something, whether it's changing the way that you eat, whether it's changing the way that you work out. Maybe it's going out and approaching people and getting to know people, or if you want to try to find someone to date, maybe just talk to them a little bit first. Don't worry about having to ask them out, because when you try to think to the result, when you try to see the end product before you've even took one step, it's always going to be overwhelming and you're always going to want to give up before you even started. So having the courage to do that doesn't mean that you're not scared. You just take that first step while being scared as shit. It's really simple. The next most important thing I learned was about discipline. So I never had discipline my entire life. I was always really big. I've been 6'5", 300 plus pounds since I was 13. And I just did what I want when I wanted. At any whim, it could be 3 a.m. and I feel like having a patty melt at Whataburger with grilled jalapenos. I don't give a fuck. But I decided that I wanted to change. And I decided that this isn't the kind of life that I wanted to live. The reason I put quotes around that is because it wasn't a life. It was just unconnected moments of bullshit. There was no life to be had. So when I started the 30-day challenge, I realized that I had to stick to my normal routines. I was still working out. I was still going to work, making sure that I was present, making sure that I did my after-work activities. I do a lot of volunteer work. So keeping the discipline in all of the little parts of my life is what made me realize that I could actually do huge tasks that involved being disciplined. Now, I will say not eating is a different type of discipline in itself. It is more of a mental discipline. It's more of like a mental warfare kind of thing. If you want to learn more about discipline when it comes to not eating, I would recommend reading the book, The Intermittent Guide to Fasting, or I think it's The Guide to Intermittent Fasting. I don't fucking know. I read that book first, and it really taught me what it's like to start something like that and want to continue to get better at doing something like that. Because what I came to learn was this wasn't just a physical challenge. This wasn't me wanting to lose weight only. Near the end of the challenge, I ended up realizing I had to have a bigger purpose and a deeper goal. And that was to get closer to my understanding of a power greater than myself, higher power, God, spirit of the universe, whatever you want to call it. Once I realized that that would be the focal point of why I was doing such an insane challenge. And believe me, I knew it was insane, but when I started telling people I was doing it, the looks that I got were looks of extreme worry. But it was for more than just me. It was to prove that I would be willing to go to any lengths to change, and it was to prove that I'd be willing to go to any lengths to get closer with what I understand as God. So to wrap up that point, you stay disciplined in multiple areas of your life that seem small, like making your bed, like meal prepping, making sure you get to the gym daily. And then whenever you get to big tasks, to big goals, it's not so monumental to be able to keep that discipline going. The final thing that I learned, which I think could be most useful to all of you guys, is you really can get through any problem if you look within yourself to find a greater purpose. I mentioned that a little bit in the last point, but I want to focus on that to make sure that you fully understand what that means and how you can use that to get through your goals. My entire life, every time I wanted to do something remotely challenging, it was always so surface level. And that's why I would get a gym membership just like the rest of us at the beginning of the year. And 2 weeks into it, I think, who am I kidding? You're not a guy who goes to the gym. You're not somebody who gives a shit about that. Whenever I wanted to change the way that I eat, I tend to refer to it as a lifestyle change, not a diet, because I don't want to go back to that way of living. So when I would try these different lifestyle changes, I would immediately get discouraged 2 weeks, maybe a month into it when I wouldn't see the results that I wanted at the surface level and decide that this isn't for me. Actually, I need to try something else and then back out of it. Even when I wanted to start going on more dates with people, I always would convince myself that either they weren't for me, they're judging me super hard, or I just didn't care. So when I started to look inwards and realize that there is a whole world of possibilities if I just get out of the fucking way, I keep putting myself in the way of my opportunities. So I stopped thinking about all of the negative thoughts that usually encompass me. I started thinking about what I could do for other people. The reason that I did this 30-day fast wasn't for me. It was to show people that if you set your mind and if you set your intentions and thoughts to a higher purpose, you can do whatever you want to do. I didn't eat for an entire month after going my entire life without stopping eating for more than 4 hours. I was always eating throughout the day. And to think to go from that to not eating for an entire month was impossible, not only in my mind, but to the people around me's mind. So when I started to think, well, maybe this can help other people. Maybe this can show people that you don't have to live to the limitations of your mind and other people's opinions. That's what I realized doing that fast. I was limiting myself with the mind and the stories. I thought that was reality. But realistically, when I started to think, well, what could my God do? What would my God want me to do? Obviously, I could have been a little bit safer, but I knew I wasn't going to die. I had done the build-up, the 1 week, the 2 week, the 3 weeks. So this had to be for other people. It had to be for a greater purpose than I wanted to look good, or, oh, I want girls to think I'm hot, or, I want to make sure that I'm not fat whenever I grow up. Sure, that can get you started. Sure, that may be able to get you halfway through it, but you might make it a couple weeks, a month, maybe 3 months, but that's not lasting. That's very limited. You got to look to unlimited power, to unlimited will. We're just humans. We don't have that stuff. But if you look to a higher purpose, you will have that stuff. That I can promise you after not eating for a fucking month. So just remember, courage, I'm sure you heard it a million times, but be scared, do it anyway. Discipline, it's not just staying disciplined to these extremely crazy tasks that seem impossible. It's getting up, making your bed, brushing your teeth, meal prepping, showing up to work on time, trying harder at work than other people do, coming home, reading a book instead of scrolling on your phone all fucking day. It's those little things that add up to you being able to do something amazing. And lastly, if you're not looking to something bigger than yourself to achieve your goals, I'm not saying you won't achieve them, but from what I've seen from other people, once you achieve that goal, you're not going to be fulfilled. You'll still be empty because you're going to have the goal and then think, well, now what? I've done everything I wanted to do. So best of luck. Peace.